I created this stir-fry recipe inspired by our Middle Eastern cuisine. I added the spices that we usually add in all our meals. I added the veg that we usually add in a lot of our stews, and I came up with this super easy, super quick recipe. It really takes me about like 8 minutes to prep up and cook, and then I've got a lovely, warm, delicious, healthy, full of veg and nutrients meal that is so nice. The combination of flavors is phenomenal. The garlic and the sesame and everything, and the veg, and it's just so good. I know that stir fries isn't usually Middle Eastern, but as I said, I made it with a Middle Eastern twist, and I really I'm someone who absolutely loves stir fries just because they're so quick and so easy, and those times when I'm really craving a really nice warm hot meal with full of veg and healthiness, but don't want to make a stew or a soup or roast veg, anything that takes a while, then I make this stir fry, which takes no time to make and is absolutely delicious. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, then please hit the button down below, because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned. How to make the super easy stir fry. So first, let's start with chopping the veg, and then we can get on with the chili, ginger and garlic, the base of a lot of meals in well, I think they should be the base of a lot of meals out there, just because they can give that basic deliciousness of, yeah, just can make anything delicious if you add it to it. So we want 2 courgettes, and you just want to cut them into rings. Rings, is that the right term? I don't know, we'll call it حلقات. I like stir fries in general. Although we have more stews than stir fries in Palestine, we still do have a lot of stir fries. We call it تقلاية, from frying pan, which is مقلاية. And now we want a pepper, 1 pepper. Obviously, guys, whatever if you like peppers more, then add 2 peppers. If you like courgettes less, then replace it. You can use any veg you want, but I think these veg go really beautifully together. So I've done this recipe with many different veg, but I think these, I really like this combination. But that's just depending on my own taste, because these are the veg that I really enjoy and like, and find that it's easier to stir fry them because they get cooked quite quickly. Right, that is the peppers ready. So let's now get on with the broccoli. So you want 2 broccolis, small broccolis, or 1 large broccoli. And you just want to cut it how people cut broccoli. I don't think there's many ways of cutting broccoli, I don't think. It kind of feels like people usually just cut it like this, I'd say. We're done with the broccoli, now let's get on with the potatoes. So you really don't have to put potatoes, but you know me, I bloody love potatoes. I'll add it to everything if I could. So I'm gonna use 1 potato. The only annoying thing with potatoes, and to be fair, you don't really have to do that, is that I'm gonna pre-steam it while I'm cooking all the other veg, just so I can get it all nice and fluffy, and then I can, you know, get that extra crisp when I add it in, and then it can be, yeah, the maximum crisp potatoes. You just want to cut it into cubes. So I'm going to use 2 potatoes, but as I said, you don't have to add potatoes at all. You can do this mix with just with some broccoli, with some beans, with some, what are those like tiny corn things called? I love them as well. I forgot what they're called, those corny small corn things. You can add some peas, anything you want really. That is a very full bowl of potatoes. Alright, so now we're done with the veg, let's get started with the base. So let's start with the garlic. I like to start with the garlic because I usually like to crush the ginger and the chili that I've chopped with it also, just can become one big nice paste that can coat all the veg. So we want 3 cloves of garlic. Of course, I got the biggest cloves of garlic I can find. When I don't use as many garlics, I'm always like, which are the biggest ones? Alright, that will do. Now let's chop some ginger. A good chunk of ginger. It's very hard to measure ginger, right? But just like this much. One tip about ginger as well, what I always do as well is put ginger in the freezer, and then if I'm ever out of ginger I can just grate some in, and it makes it so easy because you don't have to chop, you don't have to do anything, you just literally grate it in. Alright, let's add that here, so then we can crush this. And now a lovely chili. So you want to use half a chili, but of course, as I always say, it really just depends on how much spice you like. I say, for me, half a chili is always perfect. Gives it enough kick, but not too spicy that I'm like, my mouth is on fire. I don't really like it when it's too spicy and I can't really taste anything else. It's like, well, it's all about having that, you know, beautiful combination of flavors, doing a little dance together in your mouth, and chili is very intense and it really can dominate the flavor, and I don't like it when it dominates it. I definitely like it to be, just give it a bit of a kick so it can, yeah, complement the other flavors rather than take away. And now let's just chop it all together. Not chop it, crush it. Alright, look at that paste. Look at this paste, it's amazing. Chop up the coriander and we're done. Not done, done for the preparations. But really, everything else is just, you want to put it all together, and yeah, it's not really that much effort at all. Alright, now let's just chop up the bunch of coriander. Alright, that'll do. Now let's put stuff together. One thing we did forget is the onion. How could I forget? So we want to peel and chop 1 small to medium-sized onion. Alright, that'll do. Now, let's actually put stuff together. So first we want to put a hob on a medium to high heat, and then we want to whack in some oil, any oil you want. Obviously there's certain oils that are healthier than others, like rapeseed oils. Wait for the oil to heat up, and then we can whack in our lovely veg so they can get nice and crisp. I kind of want to start with the potatoes just because I do want them to get very nice and crispy. Isn't this such a beautiful wooden spoon? We got it from a hand carver in Bristol. A hand carver, wood carver. He does not carve hands, he carves wood. Obviously guys, you don't have to add potatoes. You can add whatever veg you want. I think potatoes are a bit of a faff if anything, so yeah. Don't use them if you don't fancy it. I just like to use a bit of potatoes, so then I wouldn't have to have some rice or noodles with it, although I love it with rice and noodles as well. As you can see, they're again nice and crispy. As I said, you really don't have to add potatoes in. I love some crispy potatoes, as you probably all know. I'm a bit obsessed with potatoes, but oh yeah, that crispy potatoes in a stir fry is so nice. Alright, let's add the onions now. I definitely need to buy a bigger wok than this, but this will do. Let's get them a little bit crispy and then we can add the lovely chili and the lovely spices on top. Alright, let's add the lovely garlic, ginger and chili. Chili and ginger, that's why it came out as chincha. And then we want to also add the spices. So we've got 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. For those of you who don't like cinnamon, you can replace that with nutmeg. And then 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. And then a load of salt and pepper. And now let's mix it all so this lovely spices can coat everything. Coat all our lovely, now crisp veg. And I just want it to all cook together. Let's add the lovely seeds as well. So we've got pumpkin seeds and sesames. Obviously you can use any seeds you want. Sometimes adding nuts as well, adding a bit of walnuts or cashews goes so beautifully, or peanuts with a stir fry. So now we want to have a little bit of a sauce to this. I always like to have the tiniest bit of sauce. It's not going to be too saucy because we've already got so much going on, and obviously a stir fry should never be saucy. It's not a stew, is it? So in a mug or a jug or a jar, you want to get a cube of stock cube and add a bit of hot water to it, dissolve it, and then add a little bit of tomato paste to it. Mix it all, and that's the sauce that we're going to add at the end. Mix it together for a little bit and then we're done. Alright, that looks good to me. Now you can add it with you can have it with some rice or with some noodles or just on its own. I love having sometimes stir fry on its own because there's not a lot of things that can sit on my stomach, and yeah, it's just veg and veg. Whoops, we forgot we've got 2 things actually, the spinach and the coriander. Lovely coriander. Just want to mix it through. As soon as the spinach is wilted enough, obviously I don't like spinach to be too wilted, but I like it to be wilted enough. We've got ourselves some delicious stir fry that is Middle Eastern-y influence. Like, this is very similar to how we make a lot of our stews, but it's much quicker. Alright, that'll do. That's perfect for me. And we're all done. Now all you need to do is add the stir fry on top of some rice, or mix it in with some lovely noodles, or have it on its own. And as we say in Arabic, صحتين وعافية. If you want to learn how to make rice the Palestinian way, check out the link in the description. It's an easy yet delicious recipe. Don't forget to tag me or send me a picture if you do attempt to make this or any of my other recipes. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every other Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned.